Mm-hmm. We live? Hi, Drake Payton.
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yes, everybody, I'm hoping you can hear better than you did our last. This is Miracles on Main video, live video, and I have with me today one of the awesomest.
Is that a word?
I don't think so. It's Saber's word. People that this week, well, I've had the privilege for 9 days to be with him, 9 days straight today.
Is that a privilege?
Yes. Faith Leader Boot Camp is what he went through, so it's been an awesome trip. But he's not here to, this is one of his assignments, actually, is to get on live and actually tell you a little bit about Drake, where Drake's been, where Drake is, and where Drake is going. How's that? So, Drake, why don't you just start telling us a little bit about, go all the way back to your childhood, because I'm going to assume that there's going to be people that don't know who you are. So.
All right, let's see here. So.
I'm listening. I'm just going to look and see.
Okay.
All right.
Born and raised in Hillsboro, Illinois. It's about 3.5 hours south of here.
Whoops. Whoops. Sorry.
You good?
Yes, I'm
Raised
good.
on a farm. Went to the same school my whole life. Had the same friends, hung around the same people. So I got that small town Illinois experience. Whether that's good or not, I enjoyed it. But I grew up in the church. I was probably saved at the age of at least 6, probably 6 years old. From my memory, I knew church. I went to church. I've been a Christian my whole life. So that's my beginning.
What do you mean you've been a Christian your whole life? I'm going to push back on that a little bit. You came out of the womb being a Christian?
A Christian.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
No, like I said, 6 years old. I think I was saved at 6 years old. That's when I gave my life over to Jesus.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. I was young.
Where were you? Do you remember?
I was in my room with my mom.
Oh, my word. That's the sweetest thing ever.
Yeah. I was in my room.
Do you remember, like, why? I mean, what was going on? If you don't remember, it's okay.
Not really. I mean, I was like 6, so.
6 years old.
6 years old. I just remember my mom answering questions. I was very curious. I was very curious about Jesus.
At
so that's
6?
I was at 6 years old.
So your parents both went to church and...
Mm-hmm. Yep. I grew up around it.
Yeah.
As far as I can remember, I was going to church on Sunday.
So what did it mean to a 6-year-old to be saved? I mean, what was that like?
It's hard to remember. It was cool. I don't know. I never really knew any different.
Okay.
Like as far as my memory goes, I can't remember not being saved.
That's
I don't know if that's a good thing, getting saved that early. I mean, obviously it is, but
yeah.
There's benefits to it, but the memory, I was so young, the memory is just not, it's not there.
Right. So you worked on a farm, went through high school. What was high school years like for you? Might want to hold that just a little closer.
Can you hear me? High school was fine. I had great friends. Grew up in a great family, so played all sports. So I was busy.
Were you an athlete? I mean,
I guess played sports.
What'd you play?
High school. I played basketball. I did baseball for 2 years, and then I played football my senior year. But I did basketball all 4 years.
And football was your favorite?
I had a lot of fun in football.
Okay, That's a good way of saying that. So, tell me a little bit about the high school years experience. Were you walking with the Lord then?
It was probably off and on. I probably didn't have a full understanding what it meant to be a Christian in high school. So I would get, I'd go on a mission trip in the summer and get that spiritual hunger would go up, and then you'd get back to the real world and then naturally decline. I was kind of a up and down Christian. That's probably the best way I can describe it.
Up and down Christian, where like you'd have moments of drawing close, and then the next moment you would be off doing your own thing.
Yeah, I thought of being a Christian to me in high school was probably going to church on Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
more of a works,
Ah.
probably more of a works Christian than in the heart. I didn't understand what it fully meant to be a Christian. No way in high school.
Hmm. So you just went to church, just showed up and thought that was good enough.
Showed up, went to youth group on Wednesday night, and that was, you know, put the check mark down. Church, youth group, and yeah,
But as far as the heart, when you said something, you said as far as my heart. What was? How would you describe your heart?
I didn't have a true relationship with God. It wasn't an everyday relationship. There was no. It was an everyday prayer, relying on Him. It was nowhere near that.
How did you treat other people in that high school years? I mean, did God make a difference in the way that you treated other people?
Probably not in my high school years. I wasn't looking to witness. I wasn't looking to love others. But I was nice. I mean, I think so.
You can comment on this Facebook Live
tell me if
video.
I was a jerk, please. I thought I was nice. I probably stayed in my bubble a lot, hung out with my friends, stayed with my circle. The jocks, whatever you want to call it. I don't really think I'm a jock, but
That's the group you hung out with.
yeah, I had the same, pretty much grew up with the same guys.
Hmm.
Yeah, they were great friends, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I didn't really look to reach out and get out of my comfort zone and really talk to new people and get to know new people in my high school, which I regret because it was a small high school. I remember everybody,
Hmm.
but I didn't have a deeper connection than what's the word, acquaintance.
So do you think that's kind of a typical high school testimony?
Probably.
Now, were you surrounded by anybody that was like on fire for the Lord? Had a great heart for God? Well, that's a pretty judgmental question, but you know what I mean. Somebody that you can look back and you think, oh, that's what it looked like to be a Christian in high school.
For some reason, Colin Beecher sticks out in my head. I don't know if you know Colin.
His mother's watching.
That's so cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
I
Lanny, did you hear what he just said?
I remember Colin like did a 180. I remember he was kind of I'm not judging him, but he was kind of wasn't in shape, and all of a sudden, when I can remember, he
Better hold that up.
he lost like a ton of weight, got into shape. Every time I saw the guy, he was just filled with joy. Always had something positive to say. So Colin sticks out in my head.
Wow, that's awesome. Awesome, Lanny. So tell me next then. You graduated. Then what did you do after graduation?
Graduation, let's see. Worked a little bit in the summer, and then I had plans to go to Greenville University. I was gonna be on the basketball team. So
Okay.
I was training that summer. I went to a camp. Working out, and then went to Greenville that fall semester.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was a change. I probably didn't take it very well. I don't think I thought I was ready for it, but I really wasn't. Quickly realized wasn't my place. I wasn't doing what I thought was my purpose. I was probably pleasing people, doing what was expected of me, which was to just continue playing basketball. I quickly found out that wasn't my path.
How did you know that? How did you come to that conclusion?
With basketball,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have the true passion it took to play at a college level.
Okay.
I think I had the skill and I had the will, but I truly wasn't in love with playing basketball, and I don't think it would have been fulfilling for me to play, all the time, and what it takes to be a college athlete.
Your heart wasn't there.
My heart wasn't there.
Where was your heart?
Good question.
So you played through the fall. Go ahead.
No, I decided not to play pretty early.
Okay.
I decided not to play. I didn't end up playing really at all. I mean, I'd hung out with the guys and I'd played with them and practiced with them, but that was about it. I quickly knew. Maybe the heart question. I don't know. I was looking for an identity, and I was looking for I was looking to search for what I wanted to be instead of who I wanted to be. Is the big thing I go back to. I was looking for an identity, I'm a basketball player,
Right.
or I'm a pilot. It was a title. I think I was looking for that identity through a title, through a worldly title.
To try to get to a place of worth.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you feel unworthy at that time, or?
Probably not then. Once I decided not to play basketball, I quickly made my transition to pursuing flying. I wanted to do that.
Like get up in a plane.
Yeah. So I started taking flying lessons very soon after that.
And that would have been spring. Last
That would have still
spring.
been fall.
Oh, that was still in fall.
That was like October, November.
So last fall.
Last fall. Well,
Whatever.
two
Yeah.
falls ago.
2 falls ago.
2 falls ago, 2018.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
So it'll be, yeah. Okay. So what'd that look like?
Flying.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. I had a lot of fun. I'm kind of a adrenaline junkie. Probably not adrenaline junkie, but I like scaring myself. I like getting in that moment. And being a few thousand feet in the air is one of the best ways to do that. I had a great instructor. So it was a good way to fill my time. Now that I wasn't playing basketball, I had something else to pour into besides schoolwork.
Okay. So were you still attending Greenville at this time?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then
Yep.
spring comes.
Spring comes. That's when I transferred.
Okay. Now were you already a pilot then or no?
No, not yet.
Okay.
So I made plans to join Air Force ROTC at SIUE, Southern Illinois at Edwardsville.
Okay. So in the spring you went there.
So in the spring I transferred to Edwardsville,
2019.
2019.
Okay.
Yes, I was at Edwardsville then.
Took a semester there.
Yes.
Is that a good experience?
Spring.
What went on? Where were you? Were you somebody? I mean, describe Drake at that moment.
I was busy. I had a full class schedule, college courses. I was doing Air Force ROTC, so I had workouts in the morning. I had like a drill type thing once a week, and then I was also driving back to Greenville at that airport to take flying lessons. I was making the 40-minute drive 2 or 3 times a week.
Okay.
So I was busy. I didn't have a lot of free time. Maybe that was good for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say I still didn't truly know who I was.
And your relationship with God at that time was?
Spring, it was probably minimal. Yeah, it wasn't. Probably about the same. I mean, not a lot of hunger, not a lot of interaction there. There wasn't daily interaction for sure. No, I was away, so I wasn't going to church with my family. I didn't have a church that I was going to. But I still, for the most part, had my head screwed on straight. I had things to do. I thought I had a purpose. I thought I was doing what I was supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, spring wasn't bad. I got through spring. I did well.
Phew, we're through spring. Now what? Now hit summer.
Summer.
Did you have your license yet?
No,
Okay.
I was close. So I went to California right at the beginning, end of May. Went there for 3 weeks through the ROTC program. I went out to Travis Air Force Base in San Francisco for 3 weeks. And that was cool. I got to be around Air Force Base, got to take tours, got to go on flights, got to talk to pilots, got to talk to officers. So it was good. I got to be around guys I liked. Pretty much 8 to 3 or 4 every day. They'd have a schedule for you, and then and you had free time. So we go work out, go hang out, play some volleyball or something. It was cool.
And at that point, still the same kind of relationship with God. This felt like you knew him. You knew he was there,
I knew he was there.
but you didn't hang out.
No, I wasn't acknowledging that.
Yeah, you weren't hanging out.
Mm.
Did you feel empty? Did you feel like, what's Drake's purpose? What's Drake up to? Did you get stuck in your head?
Yeah, I still got stuck in my head, but I still didn't feel quite empty because I still had the Air Force purpose. I'm gonna be a pilot in the Air Force.
Mm-hmm. You were
I
still
still had
basing
that.
your identity based upon what you did.
Yeah,
What you do.
absolutely. Yep,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Yes.
So now we're in the summer. Good summer all the way through?
It was fun. I don't know about good, but it was fine.
Okay.
Let's see. I probably take my parents off. They went on vacation. Where'd they go? I think they went to Georgia with my sister. So I had the house to myself. 19-year-old college kid, want to look cool. So I have some guys over, and quickly escalates, and I get caught somehow. And then next thing I know, Brian Patton and your son are at my house.
Awesome. Somebody narked on you.
Yep.
That's a good thing, though, don't you think?
Yeah, that's probably a good thing because I don't know what would have happened.
So did they
Listen.
just kindly ask you to shut it down?
They were cool. I'm glad it was them.
Yeah, that would be a good pair.
I'm glad it was them.
Yeah.
I was a little embarrassed. Probably mad at myself. But I was glad it was them.
Mm-hmm.
They handled it well.
So you went down a little party stream.
A little. I wasn't a huge partier.
Mm-hmm.
That night, something. Yeah. But I was slowly starting to get there, I'd say.
Okay.
Slowly.
You want to fill in the rest of the story?
The rest of the story?
Yeah.
So after that night, after Rim and Brian came, I started meeting with Rim once a week. And I wasn't.
And who's Rem?
Rim's your son.
Yeah.
Oh.
Thank you.
If you didn't know.
I think I know him. We call him Remy.
I'm not
Since
gonna-
you've been at our house, you've called him Remy too.
I know, I don't like it. I'm not going to call him Remy.
Okay.
So Rim is our youth pastor at Hillsboro at the Presbyterian Church. I've known him since I was probably 12 years old. He showed up. Great. He was someone to look up to. He was a good youth pastor. But he probably never knew the real me.
You didn't let him, did you?
No, I didn't let.
You didn't let people in very easy, did you?
No.
Tough exterior.
Yeah, tough exterior. I kept a lot of things in, I'd say. But I started meeting with Rim once a week. So I was 19 years old at this point. I was probably a month out from school, about to go back to Edwardsville. And yeah, I wasn't letting him in on what I was struggling with, whatever sin issues I had, what I really needed help with. Probably because I still let sin control a lot of my Christian life.
Mm-hmm.
So I was probably shameful of that, and so yeah, I just didn't. We had good talks and good discussions, but he still didn't know the true Drake. He was probably 75, 80% aware.
So you hid your sin.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you would stay. What happened? I mean, did you get to a dark place where, explain that dark place as much as you feel comfortable explaining.
Dark.
Like when you hit, like the prodigal son hit the, would you say you were a little prodigal?
I could be compared to the second son.
Okay.
I wasn't content, grounded. I didn't have that wisdom to just relax. I'm a feeler, so I like to feel things. I like to have fun. I like to go out and live. So that's when I really started to go into that. I didn't hit the dark spot until probably the end of the year, around December.
Around Christmas time?
Yeah, so I still went through a semester. I was still in ROTC. yeah, I was doing fine. Grades were good in school. It was probably a few weeks out from the end of the semester where I really started to question whether I still wanted to be in ROTC. I remember calling my mom one day. I was pretty shaken up
You
about
got a
it.
pretty cool mom too, don't you?
Yeah, she's a pretty good mom. I was pretty shaken up about it. I didn't know. I just didn't know. I felt stuck. I felt pretty lost. And I was trying to decide if I wanted to get out of ROTC just because I didn't want to face something hard. I mean, it's a hard program, or whether I just really didn't belong there. And I'd already stopped basketball, so I had the quitter in the back of my mind.
So you had the quitter identity going on.
Quitter, and then that held me back before I did get out of ROTC. I didn't. That was something big, because that would be me quitting my plans for the second time, and that, I'm pretty hard on myself. So that my dad being in the Guard and being in West Point, and then my grandpa being a general in the National Guard, I kind of feared how they would take it, probably. Yeah, I didn't want to disappoint them.
Right. So you were up against some hard decisions, and so you didn't want to deal with them, so you numbed it, tried to numb some things.
Yeah, once I made the decision to get out of ROTC, I'd made that decision. I was gonna push through and finish it for that semester, but I'd already made the decision that I was gonna be out. So yeah, I started, and at that point, I was lost. I had no idea. I'd quit basketball, which I thought was my identity, and now I'm a pilot, and I had, dropped out on my plans on that. So yeah, I was in a place I was stuck. I had no idea where to go, how to approach it, what steps to take to keep moving. All I knew was at the end of the semester, I have no idea what I'm doing. Didn't know what I was studying, because in my mind, I was always just going to be a pilot, and you can study whatever you want. So I never really cared about my degree. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I got to figure some stuff out. I didn't know what I was studying. I had probably one semester of gen eds left, and then it was time to make some decisions. So that's when I probably hit a dark place. I didn't have that identity anymore. I didn't have the basketball player. I didn't have the pilot. So or the Air Force pilot. I had my pilot's license at this point, so I was still a pilot technically, but.
So what I could just see is this Drake guy just out wandering.
Yeah.
Kind of lost, kind of like that little lost sheep. I don't know why I have this picture, but just that one little sheep out there wandering around, not knowing where to go in life. And so, what was that like? I mean, do you think there's people out there right now that are in that same place that are just don't know what to do with their life, had their identity attached to some other things, but...
Oh, I'm sure.
And so you handled it one way. You kind of numbed yourself a little bit from reality.
Yeah, I was trying to escape reality. I would it affected my relationships with friends, with family. I wasn't Drake for sure. I didn't have that purpose. I didn't know what I was doing. So every day it was just kind of like going through the motions, I was still going to class. I still had gen eds to do. So I was still going to class, but it was just, I would get my schoolwork done, and I'd still be doing my workouts. But other than that, I didn't have something driving me. I didn't have something to really pour myself into.
So you pulled away.
Yeah. So
relationally, you pulled your heart.
Isolated myself a lot. I don't know if I call it depression. I wouldn't say I have mental illness. I mean, I was probably depressed during that stage, I could say. Not severely, but yeah, I didn't have joy. I didn't have that joy. And that's when my relationship with God really just kind of disappeared.
That's interesting.
I don't know if I was angry. I don't know if I was...
You stopped talking to him.
Yeah. Yeah, probably wasn't praying at all. Yeah, wasn't even acknowledging it. Whether that was, I don't think I was angry. Maybe it was just me. Maybe some unbelief kicking in. Probably, the enemy really had a hold of me. I probably had lies going through my head. I was probably believing some of those lies. So I don't think I was angry. I was just lost, and I was in a vulnerable place. And
What would be a lie that you would have heard during that season?
You'll you're never gonna find what you're really meant to do. That would have been one, because I like having a purpose. I like having something I can really pour into and get fulfillment out of, and be impactful with. So with it, I didn't have anything to really drive me. It was basketball in high school. It was basketball at the beginning of college, and then it was Air Force, flying. So I just didn't have anything. So not anything.
Excuse me.
I didn't have that drive. So yeah, a lie that probably would have went through my head is, you're never gonna find your passion, what you're meant to do.
Lost.
Yeah, I was lost. That was discouraging.
And you did some things in that time that you regret.
Yeah, I did some things I regretted, and I had that shame and that guilt. Every day.
Which we all try to do when we get to that place where we're unsure. I think we're all kind of guilty of doing things that we look back and think. We try to numb it. Try to numb that.
Yeah, I was pretty
place.
numb. I was just numbing it.
Yeah. And so, what happened? I mean, here you are, this wandering person. You said the coolest thing. If you don't say it here, I'm going to say it.
Coolest.
Yeah, when you and I were talking about this a couple months back, when you were coming out of this place, how do you experience this coming out? What happened?
Oh, let's see. So I remember it was probably May, late May. School's done at this point. Yeah, and I have really no plans. I just know I wanted to work. I'd do something, but I still didn't have plans stretching out in the future. So I would have like maybe a good day where I'd snap out of it, and I'd really feel different, and then I'd get dragged back down pretty quickly. But yeah, May 20. I don't know the exact day, but I remember doing something, and I laid in bed that night. It was early, probably 2 or 3 in the morning, and I was just the what am I doing question kept going through my head. And maybe I was listening to some music, maybe "Simple Man" by Leonard Skinner, I think was the song. And there's a lyric that says, "And don't forget there's someone up above." I don't know about that night or about the music I was listening to, but I had a little pull to get back into my relationship with God. Just a little pull.
Leonard Skinner lyric.
Leonard Skinner lyric.
That's awesome.
out of all bands, but
well, God can use anything. So
I can't remember exactly how the events went down, but I just had a little pull. It wasn't like, an angel showed up to me and it was overnight. It wasn't like that at all. Just had that little piece of wisdom there in my head. And that was one of the first times I think I've really prayed exactly where I was at. That was the difference. So I say I was a works Christian. I always had the assumption that God would be angry after you sinned, but that's really the best time to just accept where you're at, because He knows anyway. He knows where your heart's at. So that was the first time I just really prayed where I was at, where I admitted that I couldn't do it on my own, where I invited Him into that place I was at, asked Him to fix it because I couldn't, obviously.
That is so key, right, what he just said. I mean, I preached a little bit about that and used you, but that is one of the most significant points of your testimony, I believe. That you didn't try to, but I asked you earlier, how did you know to do that? How did you know, wow, I can't fix it this time?
Probably just going through that dark place that I never thought I would go through. Um,
Did you judge other people for going in dark places? Or,
yeah, I could be pretty judgy.
Okay.
I could. I still can be, obviously.
Hmm.
So I knew I needed to let someone else take the wheel. Um, so
That's so cool.
so yeah, I remember praying where I was, and just genuinely asking. That's I think my heart was really in it. I needed God, that I needed Him to fix me, fix my heart. So after that night, it nothing drastic happened. I mean, I slowly started to get back into my Bible a little bit, maybe. I remember maybe driving to work one day. I think I sent you something. I asked you a question, and you answered, and you ended up saying God is chasing after me. You said that.
Hmm.
I took that. That was meaningful to me. So that's when I really started pouring into my Bible. When I realized that He wanted to be with me, He was chasing after me. All I had to do was open the door, because He's always there. All I had to do was acknowledge it, and
But you felt him working.
yeah,
And you sensed.
I could feel Him slowly working. So yeah, we're probably still in May. It's probably May 30th now. There was one night where I was pretty overwhelmed. I think I was listening to some music, going to bed or something, and I ended up crying for like 15, 20 minutes, just letting it all out, cleansing myself, and just really letting that love get to me. That was
Aw.
I think that was May 30th. I'd have to look back in my journal, but roughly then it doesn't really matter.
That's really cool. You stopped hardening your heart. Aw.
Yeah,
Yeah, all that.
yeah, May 30th. Next day,
Sneeze
the next day was my dad. Yeah, that was my dad's birthday. The next day.
I have to sneeze.
You gotta sneeze.
Yeah, don't you hate that?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I remember that was May 30th because that was the night before my dad's birthday. Took my dad flying the next day, and slowly to crawl.
Oh,
started
I
to crawl
remember
up.
that. I saw you that next day.
Yeah, and that's when I don't know. I just
Because we were at CJ's house and we were at a campfire. I invited you over for.
Yep.
Yep.
And that was a point where I guess I didn't care what people thought. I started reaching out for people. I asked to talk to you. I asked to talk to Matt Ferguson, my pastor at the Presbyterian, and then I asked to talk to Rim. So I didn't have a will to hide anything anymore.
Yeah, you were very open and very.
I was very open with you. I was very open with the other two. I just didn't have that like a year before that, when I said Rim only knew about 80% of me.
Mhm.
I didn't have that will, that shame to hide myself anymore.
Yay, that's so cool.
So that week, I talked to you on Monday. I talked to Matt on Wednesday, and I talked to Rim on Friday.
Wow.
And that was when I could see that God was just slowly paving a path. I wasn't doing anything. All I was asking, I just asked for help.
Right.
I just asked for help with all my heart, and He brought you to Hillsboro, and then I got to talk to some wise people, to you and the other two. So that was when I really started to see some steps being paved. And I got to go out to San Diego shortly after that.
Yeah.
Well, not shortly. That was probably like June 20th.
So you had a couple weeks in there.
Yeah, I had a couple weeks in there.
Mhm. Like a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause today's the 28th.
Yeah, just over a
CJ's
month.
birthday.
Just over a month ago. So I got to go out to California with my brother Drew for 4 days, hang out with Bill Orland. He's originally from Hillsboro. Hey, great guy. Formed a great relationship there. God put a guy in my life that I could really have a good relationship with. Still talk to him very frequently. So that was great. That was fun. And then, that night I was I talked to you at CJ's. Gail was there, Gail Brown,
Yep.
and it came up that they needed a grain cart driver for wheat harvest in Kansas, and that's what I do on our farm. So I kind of jokingly said, I drive a grain cart, and she took it seriously, and next thing you know, I have plans to go out to Kansas. Well, that Friday, that's when I met with Rim. We were gonna go, or maybe Friday after that. Doesn't really matter. We were gonna go mountain biking, and he brought it up, and are you gonna go out to Kansas? I said, I don't know, maybe. And 10 or 15 minutes after we had that conversation, Gail's husband, Jeff, the farmer, texts me and is asking me to come out. So I'm like, okay, must be a reason.
That's so cool.
I must be going out there for a reason. So go to San Diego, and then I have a couple days in between that, and then I go out to Kansas for maybe a week. Ride the train out to Kansas and work all day and spend some time with a great family. And there was one day out there, Rim had given me a book called Victory Over Darkness. So I was reading that.
Good book.
Yeah, it's a great book. It's a super good book. So I'm reading that in the tractor between dumps. I have a few minutes waiting for the combines to get full. Reading this book, and he's talking about, he makes you rate yourself on success, fulfillment, satisfaction, happiness. There's a few others. I don't remember all of them. Should have brought the book in, but
it's Neil Anderson. Great book if you're struggling with identity.
Yeah, so he makes you rate yourself in the worldly lens. How successful do you see yourself? Makes you rate yourself. In the next chapter, he talks about all those things in God's eyes. And there was one. It was the first one, success. He talks about success. And I remember this one line. It says, "Now your only job is to diligently accept God's character goals for you.
Oh.
Perseverance, kindness, love. There's a few others, but just good values to have." I remember that really clicked. I wrote it down and was like, yeah, it's not about what you are, whether you're a basketball player, whether you're a pilot, whether you're a nurse, whatever your occupation is. It's about who you are and the character you choose to have for yourself.
Like the heart.
Like your heart. Doesn't, you could...
Oh, somebody's at our door.
Bob's here.
Doesn't,
it doesn't matter what you do, but it's who you are.
Right.
That clicked for me. And on the next page, it was Joshua chapter 1, like verses 6 through 9.
And this is key.
Yeah, this is key. I don't have it memorized, but the end of the passage was, meditate on the law day and night, and obey it, for then your paths will be prosperous and successful. I was like, well, that's good. Just listen, read the Bible, take the wisdom in there, apply that. That's all you can do. Take care of your heart. And I think it was about 2 hours later, I have the Bible app on my phone.
This is awesome.
I have the Bible app on my phone, and I'd already gotten my verse for the day. It was something out of the book of John. I get my verse in the morning. And I'm sitting in the tractor again. My phone buzzes, and it's from the Bible app. And it says, your verse of the day is ready. It's like, that's kind of weird. It's like 3 p.m. I open it up, and it's Joshua chapter 1. It's that exact same passage. I remember that's probably, from what I remember, the most direct way I've ever been spoken to by God. I mean, I just couldn't make any other excuses for that. I mean, I got that passage, and I remember just feeling so important in his eyes, loved, even through all my mistakes and how I turn my back at times, that he still, all you have to do is ask with all your heart, and it will be given to you. And so that was cool. I knew he was really listening at that point, and I knew I needed to take that verse to heart. So ever since then, I've tried not to base my life on what I'm going to do. I try not to care about that, not to have anxiety over the future, but just take each day for what it is. Adopt those character goals. That's been and life's been better ever since that. And I've given my plans up to him. I try to give everything up to God. I try not to do anything for myself and just let him take the wheel. And I mean, he brought me here too. So.
And how did that happen?
My devotion for that morning was, so I'm at home in Hillsboro, got my coffee in the morning, and my devotion is Isaiah 6:8. Here am I, send me. And there's a little devotion on it, and so I say a little prayer after that. Just gotten back from Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just got back from Kansas, and I have 2 or 3 weeks until 2 or 3 free weeks there, and I had plans to maybe go out to San Diego again later. But so a little prayer I said was just, I got some free time here. What do you want me to do, God? What can I do? I'm right here. Send me. I think that was my prayer. Not word for word, but. And
Well, the passage was that too, right?
Yeah, that's what the passage was. So
Yeah.
I prayed. Probably 2 hours later, I get a Snapchat from you, and it says, "Hey, I got this idea. I want you to come do something for 2 weeks." Well, that was a dangerous prayer. Gotta go spend some time with Sabra. No, I felt really blessed there. I'm glad my name was put in your head for people to do this. So I said, yeah, sure. And then an hour later, I had a phone call with a guy in San Diego for an airport job. So I had all these things, open doors going on, and didn't know which one, if I could do both, if I only had to do one. I didn't. So I just prayed and went on a little 4-day camping trip with Rim and the youth group. That was great. A great time to get away and to be at peace. And a couple days in between that, and here I am.
Yes. So this thing is called Faith Leader Boot Camp.
Yeah.
So we train people to actively live their faith every day. And it's just not just one time like what you used to live on Sunday.
Yeah.
But it's an everyday actively.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Has it been hard?
It's a good difficulty. It's exhausting in a way.
Yeah, I remember one night. Do you remember that one night?
Yeah, I remember that.
He was, it's the problem with this training is you can't really hide. No.
You're not doing it right. If you're not real.
I guess you could.
You could if you want. You'd be wasting your time.
Yeah.
If you're not real, you're wrong. You're not right. If you're not being real.
I like that. If you're not real, you're wrong.
Or if you're not real, you're not right.
Right.
I like that.
So I think one of the reasons God gave me your name is and your face is because you're one of the realest, authentic people. You're not afraid to. You love truth.
Yeah.
Truth sets you free. So you've come down here. You came down here last Sunday. You've been here. You're leaving tomorrow. So
Leaving
10
tomorrow.
days straight. He's gone through
2 books. I'm about done with 2 books.
3-hour sessions with me every day.
Yep, 3 1-hour sessions every day. Reading on my own to do. Scripture in the morning.
That's been one of my favorite parts is he's developed a reading plan. That's part of the process is you have to develop a Bible reading plan for the year. And so we sat and read the Bible together, then we discussed it together, which has been awesome. So yesterday's session was deep, I thought. It pulled back some layers.
Yeah. Some layers I probably didn't know were there.
Yeah. So it's hearing God is what we try to teach people is how to listen to the voice of God. So sometimes life can become really loud. And we don't even realize it until we get quiet. So the whole purpose of these 2 weeks is to remove people like that are going through some spaces in their life where they're trying to figure life out. Or maybe you just want to retreat and you get set apart just to hear what God's trying to say. So how would you say, what is God saying to you now?
When you draw near to God, He's going to draw near to you.
What did He teach you about? Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. and just being completely real. Wherever you're at, you know, whether you're in a good mood, you're in a bad mood, you're dealing with stuff, just never hiding from God. He's always got his eyes on you. You literally cannot hide. So there's no use. He knows feelings in your heart that you don't know are there. He knows your heart better than you do. So if you feel ashamed of something in your heart, or you have sin issue you're struggling with, it's important to take care of it right there with God. There's no judgment. He loves you.
And he's our strength to overcome.
Yeah.
But isn't it interesting, though, that when some people are struggling with sin, their first reaction is to pull away?
Yeah, I've been through
Yeah, me
that.
too.
Yeah.
Instead of inviting God into that place and saying, man, I need some help.
Yeah, it's complete opposite of what you want to do. You don't want to pull away.
Right.
When you're in those dark spots and you feel alone or whatever it may be, that's the time to really get on your knees and let it go. Let God take care of it.
And you can't do it on your own.
No, absolutely not.
He says, apart from me, you can do nothing. So
Yeah, no way.
what would you tell somebody that's in a struggle right now, that doesn't know who they are, where they're headed, confused about the future? It's a big question.
Yep. I'm still confused about the future.
You don't know the future?
I still don't know what
You don't have it all figured out yet?
Nope.
Oh, that's interesting. So, but are you at peace with that?
Yeah. I'd say I'm at peace.
And how are you going to figure that out?
Just like God God's paved my entire summer for me. I haven't set up anything. He got me a job. He brought me here. So just keep letting him steer.
That's a great illustration.
But what would I say to somebody going through tough time or sin? I've been there. I've been there multiple times, but I've been there for sure. Not too long ago. Whether it seems like it or not, he has your best interest in mind. It may seem like he's keeping you away from things, or maybe he's disciplining you, keeping you away from having fun or truly living, but in all reality, he's got the best idea for you. He's got the best plans for you. He knows exactly what you need to do and what is good for you. You don't know. You don't even know. So, and then just being real. If you're not real, you're not right. God can tell if you're faking it. He can see right through that. So just being real wherever you're at, truly asking for help, admitting that you can't do it, that each and every day is not your own, and just taking it and just focusing on the person you want to be, not what you want to be.
Who you want to be.
Who you want to be.
Yeah. So who would you recommend coming to this 2-week?
Like a specific
Boot camp.
name?
Oh, no, you don't need to do that.
I don't want to call anybody out here.
Who would it be good for?
I would say if you're at a point, maybe you need to be hungry.
Yeah.
You got to be hungry. You can't come here with your heart hard. You have to have a hunger for God, because it's a lot of reading. It's in depth. A lot of prayer, a lot of alone time, and really figuring some stuff out. So you have to be willing. You have to have a hunger for it. And maybe if you're just at a point where, whether you're 20 years old and you don't really know what to do, you're looking for a pathway in your life. But yeah, you got to come with hunger. That's what I'd say.
I'd say too.
You got to come with a little bit of hunger.
Yeah.
Maybe you're at a point where you've maybe given your life over to Christ and you're really feeling it, but you need that 2 weeks of intense training.
That's good. That's a good way of saying it. Like a retreat, renewal, but it's a life renewal. It's not just a high. It's to teach you how to live.
Yeah. A lot of wisdom and knowledge in the training. I've learned a lot. Learned a lot about who you are, who God is, what he wants to do for you, how to listen. Good stuff. Good stuff.
You were excellent. So this is part of it too. This is part of it.
Yeah, you got to come talk. So
Yeah, that's good.
if you don't like talking,
You don't like talking?
I don't mind it.
Yeah, I was going to say you do a great job. So he's
Okay.
going to come back too. We're going to invite him back. That'd be good. You want to hear some more? I don't mean today. You're just like, wow, I got to do more.
More?
You got a full schedule today. So,
Yeah.
so can you pray us out of here?
Sure.
Pray, close us, and
Yeah.
All right.
Lord, thank you for the opportunity to speak here. I thank you for everyone watching right now, whether it's one person or whether it's 50 people. You've brought whoever is listening right here for a reason. I pray that they would not hear my words, but your words through me. I don't want to sound prideful or like I'm bragging on myself, because everything I've gotten here through you. You've given me everything. Maybe just anyone that is in a dark spot or needs some encouragement, God, just lay your hand on them right now and soften their heart. Let them open that door and really let you in, accept you. Help them realize that you are the God that created them long ago. He knew their name.
Yeah.
The beginning of time. I mean, he knew their name, formed them in his image. I pray that we would be clay, Lord. Let us be pliable. Let us just be the material, because you're the potter. Let us be the clay in your hands. Let us be moldable, pliable to whatever image you are trying to shape in us. I thank you for giving us another day. I thank you for the blessings that we don't deserve and that we take advantage of.
Hmm.
Help us to not grumble or complain. It's in your name. We love you. Amen.
Amen. What a great,
Cool.
It's such an amazing testimony. Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
for
you, Drake.
watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching. If you're interested at all in this training, you could message us, and we will connect with you. But I thank God for Drake Payton. Bye.
Cool.
Are we done?
Still alive?